How to make language learning a great adventure. I'm sure many of you know that when you first begin, language learning is exciting and exhilarating. And then, if you don't quit early on, like many people do, it's just like learning any other skill, like math or geography. It becomes a bit of a chore. So, one of the tips that I have used to stay mostly consistent in my language learning journey is to do activities or go on little mini trips to keep things exciting. So let's talk about a couple of ways, 3, to make language learning a great adventure. Build language skills with travel. Exploring every corner of the world is the most fun thing for me. Now, if you're able to fly to the country where you're learning a language, by all means do it. Check your local pandemic restrictions and whatnot. Make sure you're able to get in and out without risk of getting stuck somewhere. But if you're able to financially and logistically, please do it because it will change your life. Your whole perspective, your motivation, partly just the need to communicate is very motivating. And your perspective will be refreshed and your learning journey will be invigorated. What I do is mini trips. So last year I was able to travel to a little Italy area near my home while studying Italian and speak to some native speakers who thought I was just amazing, and they were just tickled that here's this person and she actually spoke Italian back to me. I went into cafes, the pizzeria, the bakeries, the bookstores. I got some great photos, and it was less than 3 hours from my home. Hopped on a subway after I drove down a ways. So find, depending on the language you're studying, the little Italies and the Spanish areas and, whatever you might be studying. Find those ethnic areas because there's heritage and wisdom, and you will, again, be invigorated. So if you're able to do study abroad, I just learned some new information. It's by no means cheap, but if you're on financial aid, at least in California, the cost of the partner schools in places like Roma or Costa Rica, South America, Ghana, I didn't look at the whole list, but pretty much all the places, cost for your semester of tuition is the same because it's a partner school, for example, with Cal State. So if you have financial aid, you can often cover that to pay for your lodging, whether it's shared housing or some sort of dormitory or apartment and your flight. Now, that means you may not have, thousands of dollars left to blow or budget. It would be paying exactly for your food and your lodging and your travel, but it means you get to spend a full semester in another country. And from what I've heard, I've never had the privilege of doing this, that is a transformative language learning experience. Plus, it's a blast. You make new friends, you try new things, you take great photos. If you're in a college and you have this option, I highly recommend studying abroad. The next option is learning language in online classes, a great option to learn with students. For many of us during the pandemic, all the in-person, anywhere local places to study language went away, and Zoom classes became a reality. The benefit of this is, for many of us, myself included, we were able to take courses in areas we do not live. So I was in many Southern California, San Diego, Poway, down by LA, they had courses. And then the Bay Area, which although it's not that far, it's an hour and a half plus, depending on traffic, 2 hours. I was able to participate with these people in a way that I wouldn't if it was an in-person only class. I've continued to study language online. It's convenient and I find it equally effective because it puts me on the spot more than the language learning apps or the books that make me feel like I'm a language learning badass when I'm not. At least not quite. So a great option to work with students and teachers from all over the world. Studying languages at university or college. With high school language experience, adding to it in college is going to be a great opportunity to have deadlines, I've heard the instructors at my college are great, have the incentive and also the pressure to study and be consistent. Not to mention, it goes beyond those couple of years you can get in high school. And depending on the courses you take, you can push yourself and stretch yourself to go abroad or take advanced language classes and use it in the workforce, in your career, and in your personal life. So 3 ways to make language learning a great adventure. Language learning while traveling or on a trip, even if it's in your home state. Language learning in an online class. See the world from your chair. language learning in college or university, most of us, I would say no, many of us would overlook a language BA or languages BA linguistics. Look into it. You can often, again, if you're using financial aid, get 2 bachelor's degrees for the price of one if you're willing to put in the work. Just throwing it out there. There's a lot of job opportunities right now where being a language learner is a huge advantage, and the world is in flux. You know, everything's changing right now. So the more you know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay well. Talk to you soon. This is Lisa from Linguist Rising.